So is this page is visible to everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I am going to start the today's lecture. In today's lecture, basically first I am going to revise that what things we have learned till now. So we have understood that whenever I have some kind of system, then control basically contain two parts, and one part is feed forward control action, and another action is called feedback. And we know that if we know some part of a state which is involved during the dynamics, so known part I am going to put on the feed forward action, and whatever unknown part, that is that I am not going to put inside the control system design. And we have, due to that reason, if you see the mathematical model of underwater vehicle, at that time what we have done, that I have this kind of model v dot equal to u bar v mod v and plus dt, where dt is the disturbance. So we are telling that u bar equal to u0, and this u0, or you can define this as a u, that is basically function of v that I am going to design. And basically v is known to me. I am assuming that I have to control velocity, and information of velocity is known to me. So this part is known to me. So basically this part v mod v is nothing but this action is called basically feed forward action. And this particular part now I have to design. And we know that our objective, so whenever you have control problem, first try to specify the objective. So my objective is to make sure that Vt tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity. So this is my objective, or this is my prime objective. You can specify like this, or in best case I have already told you that I can also enforce like this. I want Vt equal to 0 as t is greater than some finite time t. This is some finite constant. So after this constant time t, I am assuming that Vt exactly equal to 0. And since Vt 0 I am forcing in presence of disturbance, and disturbance is dt, and due to that reason this is called robust stabilization problem. Now let us try to understand that two things. Whenever you have problem, then in order to specify robustness, you have to first understand the source of uncertainty. So you have to characterize the form of uncertainty. So in previous class, what we have found that I have specified like this. Whenever I have this kind of model, now I am going to consider just feedback part, and I have dt. So first place I have assumed that dt equal to 0. It means that my system is no longer affected by any class of disturbance. That is the meaning. Now I have three different category. It might possible that dt has this kind of behavior. Sometime what happens, that for more generalization, more proper generalization, people are assuming that this dt is also function of v. It means that people are also writing like this uv and d. So this uncertain term, that is function of t as well as v. And we have already seen that in case of the if this dt is 0, at that time if I design uv equal to minus k into v, and this is the current information, so this is the present information or proportional information you can tell, and based on proportional information I can design the control action, and at that time my closed loop dynamics means after closing the feedback loop what is my dynamics, that is meaning of closed loop dynamics, like this. Now you can see that here I am going to first try to understand the behavior. So you can see that if this term is not present, then what happens, that my system, this whole system is just like minus k and v, minus k v. So this system is called unperturbed system. So I have unperturbed system, means there is no perturbation. But what happens, due to this term dtv, I have certain kind of perturbation, and you have already seen the behavior of unperturbed system, that if I am here and if you start anywhere, then what happens, that in this side I am assuming that this is v axis, so v is positive, and v dot I can calculate if I know v, so I will substitute here, and after that I am assuming k is greater than 0, so I can calculate v, so v dot is negative, so v is positive and v dot is negative, so rate of change is negative and quantity is positive, due to that reason that is going tending towards this. Similarly, if you start from here, then v is negative, and if v is negative, k is positive and negative sign is here, then v dot is positive, so they are going to move in positive direction. So this is the positive direction, forward direction I am assuming that is positive, and this is backward direction I am assuming. So since I have just one dimensional system, I am assuming that whatever vt that is going to evolve with respect to time, that it belongs to some kind of real number. So whatever data that is recorded by sensor, that is some kind of real number. Due to that reason I have drawn this line, and I have just three direction, forward direction, backward direction, and I am going to stay here. So that is just three possibility. So that is the beauty of one dimensional system. But if you are in two dimensional system, then I cannot tell this. I will talk about that. So now what we have seen, that at least if this perturbation dt is not present, then this system is well behaved. It means that I can stop this vehicle vt that is tending towards 0. Why I am telling tending towards 0 only? You try to see that as we are moving towards this, then this value v is going to decrease. So rate of change is also going to decrease. So in sufficient vicinity of this 0, v equal to 0, my velocity is very low. So due to that reason I am telling that at least infinite, theoretically infinite time is required to converge to this particular point, that is called origin. And if you start from the origin and if there is no perturbation, then you are going to stay there, because v is 0 and v dot is 0. So Newton's first law, I can make sure that if I will start here, then I can stay here. Now what is meaning of robust control problem? That suppose your unforced system, if you remove the forcing function, if that is stable, you can tell, or asymptotic stable, here I am assuming. Now what is behavior of this system in presence of this particular uncertainty or disturbance? So I am going to generalize this problem in using more proper notion. So what I am telling now, suppose you have some kind of system, and that system is in more general form, x dot equal to f t, x, and you have certain kind of disturbance that is associated here. It means that I have some kind of system, and suppose my system is some kind of f dash t, x, and u, something like that, like this. So more proper way, since time is present, so it is better that you can write everything in terms of time. So now after designing control, suppose you have designed this control and you have used the information of present. It means that you have used the information of xt, and after clubbing this information, I am assuming that this particular system is converted into this particular system. So after closing the loop, I am analyzing the behavior. Please try to understand this. I have designed some kind of control based on present information, and whatever this is called closed loop behavior, because I have already substituted some amount of control. I have already substituted some value of control in terms of present information, and after that I have this kind of system. So now whenever you have this kind of system, then you try to see that what happens, that in some case this particular value, that is 0, and suppose this system is called unforced system. So I am assuming that unforced system is stable or asymptotically stable. Asymptotic means as t tending towards 0, tending towards infinity, sorry, xt tending towards 0. That is the meaning of asymptotic stability. We will see this point on the next part of this course. Now I am assuming that unforced system is stable. Now question is that if this system, unforced system, is perturbed by this particular class of uncertainty, then what is the behavior of the whole system? So if I represent this system, then this whole system from here to here, that is represented like, and we have certain name that is called perturbed system. So slowly you try to understand the terminology of control system, and similar kind of terminology one can use in power electronics, where voltage is fluctuating in or current is fluctuating. Similarly in power system, whenever I have mismatch of some frequency or something like that, so this term dt might be due to various factors, due to some kind of modeling error, due to some kind of external uncertainty, due to some bad measurement. So I am assuming everything here. So now you try to see the behavior. So one behavior might be like this. So equal to 0 as x equal to 0. So what we are telling that if I converge to the equilibrium point, I am assuming that equilibrium point of this particular system. How to define equilibrium point? X is 0 and rate of change is 0. So if you put rate of change is 0, and then what happens, that at that time I can also tell that ft 0 equal to 0. So if this kind of condition will satisfy, then x equal to 0 is the equilibrium point of this system. From the Newton's first law, it means that x is 0 and rate of change is 0. Now at the equilibrium point, if disturbance equal to 0, then this disturbance is called vanishing disturbance. And most of time you are able to find that disturbance, whenever we have some kind of vanishing disturbance, then people are representing like this also, that is less than equal to some kind of d0 mod x, something like this, for all t greater than equal to 0. So what we are telling that here, this is the norm. So norm, whenever you are telling norm. So now norm is same like distance. So for time being, you all will just assume that suppose x is x1, x2 up to xn, then this norm I am telling that is represented like this. I have mod x1 plus mod x2 and up to mod xn, and here everywhere where I have some kind of p, and after that 1 by p. So this is the definition. We are telling this is generalized norm. So now here not 1 by 2, here this is p. So if you put p equal to 2, then you are able to understand that this is nothing but 2 norm. If you are able to put p equal to 1, then this is 1 norm. If you are able to make sure that this p value is very large, then what is the condition? So that I am not going to discuss. So what I am telling that once x equal to 0, so by property of norm you can see that if x this vector equal to 0 means each and every term of this vector equal to 0, and due to that reason I have written like this. Most of time this is vector, and due to that reason people are using this kind of notion. So if I have one dimensional quantity, then I am using this kind of notion, that suppose in this particular problem v dot equal to uv plus dt, and here I know that v belongs to r. Due to that reason, in order to match the dimension, dt also belongs to r. At that time either you can write like this or dt. So this is absolute value. So one dimension, then whatever role of absolute value in higher dimension, same role norm is going to play. And norm I am going to define like this. So for time being, I am not going to waste my time how basically this kind of things comes into picture. Just try to understand that if I have uncertainty and if that will satisfy this kind of relationship, then I am going to give certain kind of a specific name, and name of this class of uncertainty is basically called vanishing uncertainty. So this I have already written the name. So this uncertainty is vanishing uncertainty, vanishing disturbance. It means that as x equal to 0, this disturbance is also 0. Now another class of disturbance is called non-vanishing disturbance. So let us define what is meaning of non-vanishing disturbance. And whenever we are talking about non-vanishing disturbance, then that disturbance may be of this form. So norm of this we are telling that is less than some kind of d0. It might possible that is function of time also, and it might possible that is function of some kind of function of time, explicit function of time, or sometime it is function of just like this. So here you can see that if I am assuming that this term will not present for time being, so even if x equal to 0, or here d01 I am going to use. So if x is 0, still some d0 is here. It means that if I am at equilibrium point in one dimension and in two dimensions, suppose I am here, in three dimensions suppose I am here, so I am assuming that equilibrium point is 0 0 in all three dimensions, then still some disturbance is there, and that value is d0. So that class of disturbance is called non-vanishing disturbance. Now sometime what happens, non-vanishing disturbance is some kind of constant number, some kind of constant unknown number. So this is number but unknown number, that is meaning of disturbance. So sometime d0 is some kind of unknown number, and that is not depending on times. Every time some number will appear if you perform experiment, but that is not going to depend on the time. So here unknown number I have to write. So this is unknown number, some kind of unknown number. So I hope that you are able to understand what is meaning of unknown number. Suppose same experiment if you perform, so for you 2 will come, for another person it might possible 5 will appear. Some other person, if they perform same experiment, then 7 will appear or something like that. Whenever we are talking about time varying disturbance, at that time what happens, that at the equilibrium point t equal to x, I have certain kind of disturbance that is actually function of time also. So it might possible this is like sine omega t, some kind of function of sine omega t or something like that, something which is varying with respect to time. And this class of disturbance is called time varying non-vanishing disturbance, you can tell. This is somehow number, so you can also interpret this as a time invariant or some kind of constant non-vanishing disturbance. So basically try to understand that why this class of disturbance is important. You try to see some kind of situation where suppose you are driving some car, or even if that is underwater vehicle, that is very good example, because here one can visualize the non-vanishing disturbance also. So this underwater vehicle is basically moving inside the water, and suppose I have a river as a Ganga. So if you see the behavior, flow behavior of the river, that is somehow periodic in nature. So whenever some wave is periodic, it is possible to show that that wave contains some kind of constant component, some kind of time varying component that can be represented as a sine wave or cosine wave. And due to that reason, I am assuming that whenever water wave is going to hit to some underwater vehicle, that will not represent the vanishing disturbance, because even if I will stop my underwater vehicle, some kind of wave is going to act, and due to that reason, that is class of non-vanishing disturbance. So let us conclude it. So now at least we are able to understand that I have disturbance, and perturbation people are also telling. So some disturbance is external disturbance, some disturbance is due to some kind of mathematical modeling also. So here I am not going to specifically characterize the disturbance, just I am telling that whenever I have disturbance, then I have basically two category, either this is vanishing, or in second case that is non-vanishing. And in case of non-vanishing, again I have further two category, that non-vanishing disturbance, either some kind of constant unknown number at equilibrium point or some kind of time varying quantity. So this is the characterization of disturbance. Now this disturbance will present for any practical system. I cannot assume that any practical system will not have certain kind of disturbance. Why? Because sometimes I have some kind of mismatch of mathematical model, some kind of external environment is going to influence this, some kind of noise due to sensors also comes into picture. And due to that reason, whatever control I have to design, that should be robust with respect to that disturbance. Now try to understand another terminology, that is called robustness. Sometimes we are using word robustness, and sometimes we are using another word that is called insensitivity. So what is meaning of robustness and what is meaning of insensitivity? In order to understand this, again I am going to open the same slide. So what we have seen that in previous class, what we have observed here, that I have some kind of system. So I am going to open the same slide. So I have a start discussion from here, so one place I am assuming that there is no disturbance, and second case what we have considered that you can see that in this particular example, if it is visible to everyone, d not equal to 0, and here I am assuming that this disturbance d is less than equal to d0 is some constant positive number and mod v. So if v equal to 0, then this disturbance is 0, and this disturbance is non-vanishing vanishing disturbance, because that is going to vanish at equilibrium point. So if I just tune gain of my controller that is greater than disturbance, then I will get same kind of behavior, whatever behavior when there is no disturbance. So what is beauty of this vanishing disturbance? That equilibrium is not basically fluctuating with respect to disturbance. That is the beauty. Anyone has confusion on this? Why I am telling that equilibrium is not fluctuating? Anybody? Because in order to calculate equilibrium point, I have to make sure that rate of change equal to 0. So if disturbance that is going to become 0, then my equilibrium point of perturbed system or unperturbed system remains the same. Due to that reason, my equilibrium point is not going to vary with respect to disturbance. It might possible those who are working on power system, then due to uncertainty of parameter, what happens, that equilibrium point is also varying. So at that time, robust control or insensitive, I will tell you what is meaning of insensitivity now. Here what you can see that this control, whatever I have designed, that is not only the robust but also that is insensitive with respect to disturbance. What does it mean? That once I converge to the equilibrium point, then my disturbance equal to 0, so I cannot feel the disturbance. That is the meaning. Now let us come to the second slide. So next slide, you can see that I am talking about non-vanishing disturbance. So now I hope that you have already understood that what is meaning of non-vanishing disturbance. That has two categories. In one category, you can see from here that I am assuming that here this d is less than equal to d0, so this is, and d0 is some kind of constant number. Now if you calculate the equilibrium point here, then you can see that v dot equal to 0, then my equilibrium point is basically fluctuating with respect to disturbance. What is my equilibrium point? How to calculate? You have to just put rate of change equal to 0. So if rate of change is siege, then what happens, that whatever value that will comes into picture. So v dot equal to 0 means v equal to kp by d, and since d is changing, so I am assuming that my equilibrium point is also fluctuating. Now you try to see the behavior. So here you can see that geometrical behavior. Now if I will select some kind of v, some kind of initial condition if you select, and if that will lie in this particular range, so at that time value of kp multiplied by v, that is higher, and due to that reason what happens, that this term kp into v will dominate, and due to domination of this term, now here in this side v is positive but v dot is negative. So what I mean to say here, I am going to explain again this by writing. So now try to understand the situation. So I have something like v dot equal to minus k into v plus d, and I am assuming that this t dt that is less than equal to some numbers d0. Now I am assuming that v belongs to R. So again I am going to draw one kind of a straight line. So I am going to draw some kind of a straight line here. Now suppose if you are at equilibrium point, then what happens? Here v equal to 0, but try to see that v dot not equal to 0. Why v dot not equal to 0? Because you can see that disturbance is not equal to 0, and due to that reason, now your equilibrium point, how to calculate equilibrium point, just you have to put rate of change equal to 0. So my equilibrium point v equilibrium is now dt divided by k. It means that based on dt my equilibrium point is changing. Now suppose if you fix the value of k and if you are here, so suppose this is 5 for time being and you have selected value of k equal to 10 or something like this. So if v is half or v you can take that is little higher than half, then what happens, you are here at this point and here I am assuming that v is little bit greater than half, means initial condition of v. Then if you multiply k into v, then this part, control part, this is called feedback control part, that is going to dominate over this dt, and due to that reason v is positive but v dot is negative because negative part is dominating, so you have behavior like this. But if v0 is less than half, then what happens, now you have this kind of behavior, v is 0 and v dot is also positive, so you are going to diverge, and due to that reason what happens, that if you outside of this particular line where basically v equal to half, then in this side you have converging behavior, in this side you have diverging behavior. Similar kind of generalization I can tell here because dt might be keep the negative sign. So inside this I have this kind of behavior, outside this I have this kind of behavior. So sorry, I have drawn the wrong arrow. So basically inside this, in this side I am going to diverge, so I have this kind of behavior, but outside this I have converging kind of behavior. So what happens, that finally if you see the region, so in this particular region you can see that trajectory try to escape, but they will not escape due to this kind of control. So what we are telling that, and by tuning the k, you can see that if k is very high, then what happens, that my equilibrium point is 0. If k I am taking practically that is infinity, then equilibrium point is 0. So gain is very high, then finally this region is very small. So in this way, so we are telling that at least I can give guarantee that where trajectory is going to lie in presence of disturbance. So that kind of control action means this is just proportional control. So using proportional control, what I am going to claim that if trajectory is going to live inside this region, then they are not going to escape. So I have some degree of robustness, but I cannot claim that if I am at equilibrium point I am going to remain there. So that kind of information is given by basically sliding mode control. I will tell you that when even if dt is some kind of constant, it is possible to show that if you apply some other control action, then it is possible to remain at equilibrium point. So insensitivity means whatever is the disturbance, I am not going to care about that disturbance. Robustness means I am going to remain in presence of disturbance. I can give guarantee that in presence of disturbance at least I can maintain in the neighborhood of tracking point or equilibrium point. So that is the meaning of these two terms. So you, and at several times I will give again repeat this kind of things, then that become more clear. So what we have seen here, that if I have certain kind of disturbance and category of that disturbance is if this disturbance is non-vanishing disturbance and constant, then I cannot talk about the asymptotic stability. But all trajectory is uniformly ultimately bounded. It means that if I come to this blue region, I cannot leave this. So this is called invariant set. So invariant set means if you start from that set, you are going to remain inside that set. So please try to become, slowly you try to become the familiar with terminology also. And due to that reason, I am telling that if I have to maintain equilibrium point in presence of disturbance, then this particular type of information or this particular type of control based on present information is not good. So using proportional control, I am not able to reject this kind of disturbance, means constant disturbance. Now if we are unable to reject constant disturbance, then also we are unable to reject the time varying disturbance. So there is no need to talk about the time varying disturbance. So due to that reason, now people start searching some more information, because just using present information, what they understood that if there is no disturbance, proportional control is very good, there is no problem. If I have vanishing disturbance, still proportional control is okay, that is not a problem. But if I have some kind of non-vanishing disturbance, then using proportional control I cannot able to stabilize my system at the desired point or equilibrium point. So, and that class of disturbance, that is d equal to d0 sin t, that is time varying disturbance, or even if at t equal to 0 you can see that that is some kind of constant value. So now people are trying to involve more information. So what is next information? That is information of past. So now after that people has start giving emphasis then, if apart from the present information, that is kp into v, and second information is the integral information, and I have told you that how to capture the information of past. So in order to capture the information of past, Newton's, or you can, I have already told you that Leibniz, people are telling sometime that Leibniz has developed calculus, sometime Newton's has developed calculus. So I am not going to argue that who has developed, but in order to capture the past information, I am going to apply this kind of operator, that is integral operator. So you might have now able to understand that why basically we are moving the some more information. Now try to see the closed loop dynamics. So this is the closed loop dynamics. Now what happens that in a state space representation, you might have seen that everywhere, whenever we are writing something in a state space form, at that time we are not putting any kind of integral term on right hand side. So, and one more thing, we are knowing that integration and differentiation is inverse with respect to each other, and due to that reason I have defined some new variable that is called z ki 0 to t v tau d tau plus d. So this kind of definition, and in this definition I can write system like this. So I hope that up to here no one has confusion. If you have confusion, then please ask me now. Anyone has confusion on this? So what basically we are telling that I have v dot equal to uv plus dt. So now I am going to design uv, this control part, that contain two informations. So first information is kp into v, that is present information, and after that I have second one more information, that is ki, that is 0 to v tau into d tau. So I have to design control based on, this is called present information and this is called past information. And after closing this loop, it means that I am going to put here. So at that time my system is represented like, closed loop system is represented like this, minus ki, even if I am not writing t here, that is understood that t is present here. So ki and 0 to t, and after that I have v tau into d tau and plus dt. After that what you can do, since one integral terms comes into picture, so you can assume this term as a some kind of quantity, and that kind of quantity equal to zt, because this particular value is changing with respect to time, and due to that reason now I have something like kp into vt and plus zt, and I have zt also contain integral. Due to that reason I can write that z dot t, and this is nothing but ki and vt differentiation of integration and plus d dot t. Now from here you try to understand the situation that after closing the loop, my system means if I apply some kind of PI controller, then my first order system is basically converted into second order system. Kv plus Z and Z dot equal to Ki into V plus D dot T. So this is my closed loop system. So what is the effect of PI controller? My initially I have first order system. Now my first order system is going to convert into second order system. And now try to see the situation. I have already told you that since proportional part is present, so whenever I have some kind of vanishing disturbance, this part will take care. So now just I have to worry about non-vanishing disturbance. So non-vanishing disturbance, I have told you that there are two categories of non-vanishing disturbance. This disturbance might be some kind of constant. So what is derivative of constant? That equal to 0. So if I have non-vanishing constant disturbance, then it is possible to show that my system, that V dot equal to minus Kp into V plus Z and Z dot equal to Ki into V. I am writing from here, and I have already assumed that I am not unnecessarily writing T, but that is silent here. So now this part equal to 0. What does it mean? It means that if you apply some kind of PI control and if you have some kind of non-vanishing constant disturbance, then in coordinate frame, higher dimensional coordinate frame, you have no disturbance. It means that if you just design Kp and Ki such that V equal to 0 and Z equal to 0, it is possible to maintain the equilibrium point in presence of disturbance. And due to that reason, people are telling that PI controller is able to compensate the constant offset. Offset means some kind of disturbance. So whenever you have some kind of offset, so those kind of problem is appear in power system, power electronics, that sometime constant offset will comes into picture and you have to eliminate that. So this is the mathematical proof that why constant offset is fully rejected by PI controller. But you try to see that if dt is not time varying, if dt is somehow this is bounded by some kind of time varying function d0t, then what happens that closed loop system is now no longer disturbance free. So my closed loop system is now Kp into V plus Z, and now I have some another coordinate frame Ki into V plus D dot T. So I cannot claim now that PI controller is able to take care about the time varying disturbance. Up to here anyone has confusion? Because now I am going to close the class. So same kind of things I am telling here. If D is constant, then in transform coordinate frame, resultant system is basically free from the disturbance. But if this is time varying, then that is not the case. Now you try to see that if I have first order system, then what is beauty of first order system? That I have already told you that if I have certain kind of first order system, then I have no problem because I am moving in one line only. So I have two direction, either forward direction or backward direction, or I am going to leave here. So I have just three possible choice. But whenever you have second order differential equation, here you can see that this controller we are able to see that in second means this coordinate frame means if system is second order, then what happens that there is no disturbance. But now I have some kind of extra coordinate frame, that is Z. Now if you start anywhere, if you are here, then basically now you have infinite many direction. So I cannot able to apply same kind of logic that if V is positive and V dot is negative, then I move towards the equilibrium point. And due to that reason, you have to convert the higher dimensional problem into one dimensional problem by designing Kp and Ki. So that will give us also information how to design Kp and Ki. So in order to show this, that PI controller is not able to basically reject the non-vanishing disturbance, I have done simulation. I will share that simulation with you, that in MATLAB, if you put d equal to 3, then this is the simulation, means constant disturbance, and if you apply PI controller. But if you put this kind of disturbance d equal to 2 centi, then I have this kind of behavior. And geometrically, now you can see that if I have two-dimensional system, if you start anywhere, then you have two direction, and due to that reason I have to convert this two-dimension system is somehow using some kind of transformation such that it's behave like two decoupled first order system. Then I am able to apply same kind of control action. So what up to this point, what we have seen, that if I have some kind of system and with disturbance, and if no disturbance, then proportional control is okay. If I have some kind of vanishing disturbance, still proportional control is okay. If I have some kind of constant disturbance or time varying disturbance, then proportional control is not okay. Then I have to move to the PI controller, proportional plus integral controller. But if I move to proportional to integral controller, then order of system is going to increase by 1 if I have just one control input. After that, what we have seen, that if I have constant non-vanishing disturbance, then transform system has no disturbance. It means that that is able to reject the disturbance. So we will see that in next class how to design KP and KI whenever I have some kind of constant disturbance, constant offset, because PI controller is able to hire larger class of disturbance than proportional control. And after that, what we will see, that if I have time varying disturbance, then each PID controller is able to compensate time varying disturbance, and if not, then how to solve that problem. That is the topic of the next class. So now with this remark, now session is open for the questions. So I am requesting you, please ask the question.